Well, good afternoon everyone and welcome to this episode of Mountain Speak. Yes, good afternoon and welcome to a lovely sunny day in Arrochar. Maybe not so much. So we are here at the Arrochar and Tarbet train station, which is the beginning of our hike. Today we're tackling Cruach Tairbeirt. Probably killing that, but I gave it a go anyway. So yeah, this is a kind of short hike today, but we're going to do a summit camp on this one, which I'm quite keen to do. But the conditions aren't great, as you can already see. So we've got pretty heavy rain, or smirry rain. It's not really that heavy, it's just a lot of it. And later on we're going to be getting some higher winds, so I'm going to put some things to the test. We're going to try a few different techniques. I've got my dome tent, my two-man dome tent with me from Decathlon. We'll see how that holds up to the test. Today as well we have two visitors along for the ride. We've got Martin, he's joining us all the way up from Stoke. And we've got Robert from Moffat Mountain Adventures, who's going to be joining us on this one as well. If you want to go and check out his vlog on this, check the link below in the description. So yeah, Cruach Tairbeirt, I think it's around 450 metres, but the walk shouldn't take us much more than an hour to get up there. But spot placement, hate this tripod, it is. Right, hopefully that's better. I've had to jam you into the top of an old rotten fence post. I really need to get a new tripod for this GoPro because that one is terrible. It falls over all the time. Anyway, where was I? Yeah, Cruach Tairbeirt. It is 450 metres and we have two visitors along the hike. That's what I was saying. We have two visitors along the hike. So Robert from Moffat Mountain Adventures, which I'll put the link in the description below, and Martin, he's joined us all the way up from Stoke. Coming for the views, obviously. We'll see what the difference is between Stoke and Arrochar in a wee while. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. We're going to be putting things to the test, gear to the test, techniques and experiences to the test. I'm very aware that this is arduous conditions and I would not ever put myself or anybody else at risk. We are fairly well versed in these conditions now. Robert's fairly experienced, I'm fairly experienced, and Martin's been on quite a few camps now as well. We have all the gear, So yeah, the plan is just over an hour, I think, to get to the summit. We're going to take a bit of time finding spot placement, things like that. And once we kind of gather that together, I'll kind of walk you through what we're doing and do a wee review, a wee gear review as well while we're at it, on the Big Agnes Boundary Deluxe LW, long and wide sleep mat. This is a sleep mat that I've had for over a year now. It's been tested pretty hard and I've had a couple of issues which I'll let you know about further in the video. Anyway, I've fully waterproofed up, leggings, new jackets on again, and I've got my bag, everything's wrapped up in the bag. We have the fire pit, but likelihood of a fire's slim at this point, but I really hope we do it. You know, it's one of my favourite things to do, and there's less chance of a fire, uncontrolled fire in these conditions. I suppose that's one of the perks. But yeah, I'm going to get cracking. I've bored yous enough. So, like I say, we're just going to get cracking right through Arrochar and Tarbet train station underpass, and we'll see you a bit further on the trail. See you in a bit. I'm off.
Berghouse, like what I've got at home, but yeah.
Aye, that's the one you bought yesterday?
Yeah.
Oh, right, and the same with the jacket?
Yeah. He's there. That's Rob.
Partners of the empty walk by. I'm gonna find you doing a walk by. This is what we do. YouTube miles.
Aye, the only one you do is under the tunnel.
So, I don't know if you can see, I'm going to adjust you. There's Rob in action. So, this is the route up, and there's obviously a lot of downed trees, and that's always going to be a risk you take when you've got to travel through a forest anyway. So, we left early enough with plenty of time that we can turn down, and we're going to take a different route up that we know is usually just roads and paths and tracks rather than forestry trail. So, hopefully that's a bit better. Maybe a wee bit longer, but it should be an easier road up. So, 6 and 2 threes. We'll see how we go on. Just show them where they are. Okay, views. That's what happened. Ben Lomond's not got a cloud on it. Right, we're back every day, we're kind of on a track, kind of. So we've skirted round to the kind of the northeast side of the hill to try and avoid all that downed trees and things like that. So we're on like an old forestry track or something just now, but it's pretty muddy and boggy. But we're here with Robert, who's also known as Moffat Mountain Adventures on YouTube and Instagram. Robert's been YouTubing about the same time as me, yeah?
Maybe a year after you.
Year after me. So Robert's channel's pretty decent. He's got quite a lot of tent reviews and pretty extreme camps and a lot of lowland stuff as well, which I quite like.
Aye, I like to be playing down.
Aye, so how are you finding it anyway, the channel? How you finding YouTubing?
Yeah, alright, I mean, has its pluses and minuses there.
Yeah.
I try not to take it too serious, you know. When I do go out, I mean, I've no filmed everything I go out with at times, but you know.
I think that's important. I think sometimes it's important to go and just enjoy the hills as well, no bother filming absolutely everything.
100%, but yeah. you know, when there's big weather windows and certain moments you go, oh, come on, we need to make a wee, this is worth
An effort, you need to make the effort, don't you?
Aye, I did. I enjoy the creating process, you know, getting back, looking through the footage that you made up and trying to create something that is hopefully entertaining for whoever's at home wanting a wee release of 20-30 minutes of watching Muppets like us, pitch and tents, you know?
Aye, I know exactly what you mean. So what's your favourite video so far that you've done?
Wow. Had a few that I'm coming to mind. I mean, I had one last November that I think I titled it something like As Good As It Gets, potentially, up at Glen Shiel. I did 3 of the Munros up there.
Alright.
I wouldn't class myself as a Munro bagger, but I enjoy the Munros, eh? And on that trip, it's one of them ones where if everything could go right, it went right.
Aye.
So it was November, but the temperature was in the teens at points.
Aye, kind of like this, mild
Aye.
like this.
We had a clown version that came over as I was pitching the tent and then lasted virtually all night really, and in the morning was amazing. I had an Aurora that was very unexpected, but was one of them ones where I was sat in this big cairn having a wee whiskey as you do,
As you do.
watching this Aurora and just wishing I had someone else with me to share it with.
Well, do you know how you find that, don't you? Like, you always want to share it. I think that's
Aye.
part of it, being the YouTuber, is you get up in these mountains and that, you just want to share it with people, the enjoyment side of it.
Yeah.
I always find that.
I do remember that being one of them trips where I shouted out to so many folk who was seeing if anyone was available that weekend, because I knew that whoever came with me would come away going, that was good.
Aye, that's going to be worth it. Right, I'm going to pause this here now while I try not to put my foot in this very deep section here. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I mean, I'm the same as you in that respect. I enjoy sharing it, and I think that's part of the YouTubing side of things, where it's good to share the wealth almost, especially when you get cracking ones like you're talking about when you're clouding versions and all that, and it's sharing this.
Can I ask, I know my favourite video that you've done.
Oh, right, okay.
And I'll tell you that.
All right, okay.
100% is. And I've watched it a few times actually on the basis, how did he do that? You know, it's very clever.
Right, okay.
What's your favourite video you've done?
Mine's is probably my favourite for different reasons as to why yours is your favourite.
Right, okay.
So my favourite is the 10 mountains, the first time I did it.
Ah, yes.
The 10 Mamors.
Aye.
Aye, that was an emotional day, and one of the reasons I really like that video as well, because I'd planned that video for almost a year in advance. I knew what music I was going to use, I knew the shots that I wanted. I didn't have a drone at the time, so I borrowed a drone. And there was obviously a lot of emotion and drama in that as well. It wasn't created by me, it was just, it just happened.
Bradley getting
Brad, aye.
Yeah.
And that just happened that way, and it kind of added to the video. And I remember another subscriber saying to me, I felt like I was watching my son doing a big challenge thing, because he said it was so up and down emotionally, and he says it was such a ride with you that that's why he thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought that's exactly what I was looking for in it. So anyway, aye, that's my favourite.
No, I'll give you that. I remember watching it after knowing the result as well, still going, he's not making this. Oh, this is going to be tough. And you could feel the emotion. Aye. Epic.
So what's your favourite of mine then?
It's the Ben Nevis one, the CMD one.
The CMD.
You know, you particularly on the CMD, you had the drone up and you've managed to get the voice synced. Just very clever.
Yeah.
And even the drone footage itself, the length of time you must have taken to do that. I mean, I've done that, a very similar video, but I was shouting myself and I've missed it. So my video was a wee bit, let's say, rushed through that part. I couldn't wait to get off the CMD. But yeah, that's my favourite one. But yeah,
Well, I think
your first 10 one guns up there with me and all that.
Aye. The CMD one was definitely good, and again I'd always planned that for quite a while beforehand as well, so I knew what I wanted out of the video, and like you were talking about, just everything clicked that day. So the weather played ball. How often does Ben Nevis not get a cloud on the top? Things like that. But I would say that one of my favourites of yours, while we're blowing each other's trumpets, is it's probably I can't remember the name of it, but there was two couples, you, Caitlin,
Oh, yeah.
another couple, and you had like the fire on is it the edge of the, right at the edge of the
Mulligalloway.
Mulligalloway, that's it.
Aye.
So,
Ironically,
because it's against the norm,
aye.
and there's not many folk do things like that, and it kind of shows you what you can do if you just go and explore a little bit, and you know, like you know me, I like the wee fire, I like a wee drink and all that, and I think that added to it all. No, good stuff. Right, listen, we're going to shoot off now because it's getting a wee bit tricky in places. Martin's just been kind of doing the nav for us. We've been sitting shooting the bull. So we'll shoot off the now, and we'll try and get up this kind of knoll here, and we'll bring you back out nearer the top. Oh, for God's sake. Hey guys, here we are. I hope you can hear me. I've lost the bag off the backpack. That's us on the top of Cruach Tairbeirt, 415 metres I think. So I'm going to be sharp here because the wind is kicking up a wee bit. I'm going to send Robert off to scope some sites, and I'm going to go back and help Martin. Martin's struggling a wee bit with the terrain. The route that we took up was quite unconventional. A lot of dead forestry, which basically means rotten wood, tussocks, things like that. Very, very difficult terrain. So I'm going to go and take a bit of weight off Martin and give him a hand. Here comes Robert, and you get me. You get it. It's been difficult way up, eh?
Wow, the hardest turn, 411 metres like I've ever done. Wow.
That was effort. That was all because the forest route was a no-go.
Oh, we'll never get like that.
No, so basically, yeah, you need to be prepared for anything, and forget the wind, you had to deal with that. So that's the next challenge, is the wind and getting Marty up here. So I'm going to love yous and leave yous just now. I'm going to go and sort that out, and I'll catch up with you when we're setting up the tent. Hopefully it's not too dark. See you in a bit. Right guys, apologies for the light, apologies for the focus, apologies for pretty much everything so far. It's dark, and I'm just trying to set up the tent. We've managed to get a pitch which is sheltered more than the rest, and I'm just trying to get set up, and we're obviously in the dark, so I just thought I'd talk to you whilst I'm setting up. If it works, if it doesn't work, then you won't see this. So as you can hear, the wind's buffeting the tent pretty well, but believe it or not, we're out the worst of it. Robert had his anemometer with him, and he's getting gusts of around 35 miles an hour, which isn't too bad. I think we can handle that, but the problem we've got, as with the last camp with Robert, was the ground. The ground is soft moss. You can maybe see like tussocks and things like that, so getting the stakes anchored, even the bigger stakes that I have, is difficult. I'm actually going to throw up, I'll get this flex tail going just now while I'm talking to you. Hopefully it doesn't get too noisy. Yeah, so yeah, poses its own difficulties, so we'll see how we go with that. So I wanted to talk to you as well about this thing. This is the Boundary Deluxe from Big Agnes, the sleep mat that was on about. Now, it comes with its own pump sack and stuff. To be honest, I've brought that extra way, but I'm not going to use it. I've got a flex tail, which doubles up as a lantern, which I love. So I did a cycle recently, coast to coast Lake District to Arrochar Beach in Sunderland, and I had my big Agnes mat with me, but it kept deflating through the night over the few days that we did that trek, that cycle, sorry. Couldn't figure out why. Now I use this product called Snoop in my work for detecting gas and air leaks. So I used this. It's basically what I used to do with a bicycle inner tube. Put soapy water on it, see what happens. And it was dimples was leaking in the mat. And funnily enough, as well as the pillow. So I contacted Big Agnes, explained the situation, and Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt, they sent me a brand new one. Can't complain. The only thing I had to do was I had to take a picture of the mat cut apart, the old one, just to show that I wasn't taking the mick basically, which was fair. I'm just ending my workout there. So one of the good things about this Big Agnes mat is it's got an R value of 4.5. Now if you're not sure what an R value is, it's basically its thermal rating. Normal Amazon sleep mats and things like that don't have the foil inside these that reflect your heat, so their R value is really low, even though if they say they're high. But these are high. So sometimes I supplement this mat with a foam mat as well, which adds about another 1 to the R value. Just knock this off. I can turn my head torch off now. So like that last camp I did, there we go, that last camp I did was minus 17 in the wind, about minus 12 air temp. So I supplemented this mat, which gave me a rough R of 5.5 with my minus 6 sleeping bag, with hot water bottles, with all my clothes. So that's how I did so well in that. I'm going to use this tartan blanket as well, also to supplement. I also like a little bit of extra comfort, which I don't mind carrying up if I need to. So I will put this over the mat, and then I'll put it on the spare bit of tent that comes with it, like this. There we go. Just a nicer little kind of carpet that I like. Like that. And there goes, there goes the lantern again. Jesus. Right folks, we've retreated to the tents. It's just about 20 past, 5:30. Just had a good feed there. I'm trying not to soak my sleeping bag, which I think I've just done, which is great. Yeah, so just had a good feed there, just my pot noodles, a cup of coffee. Just waiting for this rain to die down a little bit so we can get out and stretch your legs a wee bit and have a look around. It is blustery winds, but it's not too bad. Not too bad. We've had worse. We've had worse, definitely. So yeah, it's been okay so far. Martin had a bit of bother with the tent. He has the Berghaus, I can't remember what model it is. Cheviot 2. He's shouting Cheviot 2. So I think you can pitch it all in one, or you can pitch it separately. I think the last time Martin pitched it, he pitched it separately, but what that gave us was a little bit of a problem, because when we were trying to pitch it separately, the wind was getting under the tent and it was making it difficult, and Martin ended up in the tent with the tent lifting up because we were on the downslope, so we had to get a wee bit of help there. So we managed to get his tent moved, which was great, and because it is a geodesic tent, we could just grab the ends of the tent and we just lifted it in one piece and moved it a bit closer to us, which seemed to work quite well. So his is pegged out pretty solid now, good solid base. This tent, I've pegged it out solid, the pegs are in hard, they're not coming out, but as you can see there's still a lot of movement in the tent. I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing, I'll find out, but this is as pegged out as it's getting. I'll check them again before bed, but that's as much as I can do. Robert told me that he reckons about 1 o'clock this morning the highest winds will hit, but we seem to be getting gusts rather than a consistent wind. So we'll just see how we go. So it's all set up. I've got my, I don't know if you can see that, sleeping bags there, tartan blanket there, I spin your end. I've just got some odds and ends, I've got my juice and some odds and ends there. I don't know if you can see anything there. You see that there? Juice and odds and ends there. So yeah, I'm just leaning back. Ready to go. I just want to get out and get the fire on. That's what I'm wanting to. But we'll just see. As long as it's safe, we'll get it done. Hopefully that sleeping bag dries out a bit. That was a mistake. So, right, I'm going to shoot off and I will hopefully see you later on with a wee fire. See you in a bit. That is awesome looking. I look ridiculous. I'm warm. That's the main thing. Yeah, it's getting wild. The wind has just really kicked up. The rains came on. Wow! Wow, where'd that come from? We've had thunder and lightning. Oh. God. Good morning everybody. I'm alive, just. That was an eventful night, there's no two ways about it. So we sat and had a bit of a fire, but it wasn't really safe enough to prolong it, so we kind of knocked that on the head. Had a couple of beers and then we kind of all called it a night. But just before we went to bed, I think it was about 8:30, 9 o'clock, it was thunder and lightning, not forecast at all. It was pretty heavy as well, like it was right above our heads. Big sheet lightning flashes. That was a little bit unsettling being on the top of a hill when that happened. Again, not forecast at all on any of the forecasting sites that we were on. Just a bit of a random one, possibly to do with the wind and that, I don't know. Anyway, I ended up getting a decent sleep up until about 2 o'clock. I woke up to go to the toilet, and as I woke up I looked at my tent and the tent is all ripped. The fly sheet outer, the wing of the fly sheet, if you like, is basically separated from the seam. And I think basically because of the gusts of winds were flowing off the hill into the tent, and it's inflating the tent up, and it's banging the tent up like that, and it's basically created this rip or this tear, and it's just been made worse. So it was a little bit of improvisation. At the middle of the night I had a set of braces that I have for my waterproofs that I just got, funnily enough, and I managed to clamp the tear and the seam and stuff to stop it getting any worse, because if I hadn't had them, that tent would have been ripped apart this morning. I would have been in full exposed to the elements, which would have been no good. So fortunately that held till this morning. So yeah, woke up this morning, it's a clear day, some great views. We've got the Cobbler, Ben Narnan, I think it's a Qua it's called, Ben Vane, Loch Sloy, Ben Vorlich, and working around Loch Lomond, Ben Lomond, right down Loch Lomond to the Inches, and then over to like Luss and that west coast of Loch Lomond. The views are outstanding. We're getting some funky colours with the sun coming up as well, which is quite cool. So yeah, the only casualty so far is my tent and a little bit of my ego compared to the other guys' tents. Now, Rob has a North tent. It's a 1.5 man tent. It's got 9.5mm poles. It's designed for this kind of weather. It handled it superbly and it looked comfy and cosy and he's secure. Martin, I think I mentioned last night, he's got the Berk House Cheviot too. Now, I don't think it's classed as a full season tent, but naturally with its geodesic design and its low profile, it handled very well. However, he has had a couple of issues with it, like setting up the inner and stuff. I think I mentioned that last night. It made it quite difficult for him, but he got it sorted, and yeah, he had a decent enough night as well. So the only casualty is my ultralight 3-season tent, which kind of makes sense. It's the one that's damaged, so I'm going to need to look at getting that repaired or replaced. I will be looking for a 4-season tent to better handle these sort of situations, or just don't go camping in 50+ mile an hour gust winds. Just do that. I've enjoyed it. It's been a good night, good day up. It was an interesting day up. That was I think I mentioned that as well. It was quite difficult terrain coming up, and yeah, it was hard going, try to dodge that forest. However, we're going to attempt the forest on the way back, and the idea behind it on the way back is basically we're going to be taking our bags on and off, passing the bags over the logs that are downed, over the trees that are downed, and we'll just manage that. I'm actually just aware, just to your right, my left, there's a squall coming in, a big rain bank coming in. I'm just hoping that we miss that, it doesn't really catch us. I need to go and pack up the interior of my tent and get all my gear put away and just get sorted. So I'll leave you just now. I'll bring you back out on the way down just to let you know what the terrain's like through the forest, and if it gets any worse, and we'll see how we go from there. Yeah, hopefully you have enjoyed it so far, and I'll speak to you a wee bit further on. Right folks, here we are back at Arrochar and Tarbet train station. That was a lot quicker on the way down. I think that's taken us, that's taken us 1 hour to get down. So just to recap yesterday, when we crossed the second road yesterday, we started up the forest track and there was a load of downed trees. We persevered for a wee while, but then we realised quite quickly there's too many, it's too much to deal with a heavy pack, so we'll come round and we'll go up the southeast side of the hill, which was fine, and it was hard going and it definitely elongated the trip. But what we realised on the way down was there was a bypass path for all the down trees, which we couldn't see on the way up, but hindsight's a wonderful thing, it just is what it is. So it was a lot quicker on the way down, boggy but a lot quicker. Last night, yeah, it was a great night as usual, always is with the guys. We had obviously the adverse weather and my tent failing, but that's why we do these things, test things and go on little adventures and stuff like that, it's all good. But last night was a little bit unexpected with regards to the thunder and lightning. Now, just to be clear, I wouldn't normally do things like that if I knew there was thunder and lightning happening, but no weather app or weather forecast predicted the thunder and lightning last night, so that was unforeseen. And all we could do was shelter in the tents as best we could. There was no really anywhere else to get shelter, so we did what we did. Yeah, so I didn't sleep that great after the tent ripped about 2 in the morning, so I was kind of worried obviously about the rest of the tent going, so that took a bit of my focus, so I'll get a good kip tonight. But I did have a good time, and as it's been described to me recently, type 2 fun. A bit miserable and arduous at the time, but looking back with fond memories. So I'm keen to go and get all my dirty, wet gear off, get into my civvies, and I think we're going to hit a cafe in Loch before we head home. So thanks so much for watching, thanks for sticking with it. Thanks to Rob and Martin for coming along on another Mountains Peak adventure. I'm sure there might be the last one, but yeah, it's been a good one. So don't forget, like and subscribe if you can, hit the little alert icon, and hopefully the next one's a bit smoother. See you next time, guys. Cut. You coming to say hello? You coming to say hello? No.